Hello, everyone. Welcome to this video where we're going to go over the 9 elements of digital citizenship. Now, this is different from our live session. As our live session, we'll go over the assignment and discussion. So we wanted to create a video here for you so we can talk about the 9 elements so you can get a little more insight if you need it on each one. So again, if you have any questions or anything on the 9 elements, just watch this video. And Hello, everyone. I am Professor Jonathan Gwendois. I'm here with a video for you on the 9 elements of digital citizenship. Now, this video is different from our live session video. As our live session will go over the assignment and the discussion, this video is here for you so you can get a little more insight to the 9 elements of digital citizenship, which you'll be using this week for your discussion and your assignment. So with that, let's get started. So the first thing we want to talk about, right, is what's the 9 elements of citizenship? Well, it's about citizenship, right? So being a citizen. So some of this is going to look familiar to you because you have certain elements or rights and responsibilities for being a citizen in your regular life. So when we enter the digital world or the digital realm, Digimon reference. When we enter the digital world, the digital realm, we also become digital citizens, just as we become citizens from what country we are from. And with that, right, we have certain responsibilities, certain rights, and certain elements that we need to conform to of being digital citizens. So, right, so when we're going to do this, we're going to try to define digital citizenship. Well, digital citizenship can be defined as the norms of appropriate, responsible behavior with regard to technology use, right? So, just like a citizenship can be defined almost in the same way, that's what it is to be a digital citizenship. What is your modes of behavior? How are you? What's appropriate, right? Um, are you being responsible when it comes to your technology? So the first element we have to talk about, the very first, is digital access. And it's because technology users need to be aware that not everyone has the same opportunities when it comes to technology. Working towards equal digital rights and supporting electronic access is the starting point of digital citizenship. Digital exclusion makes it difficult to grow a society increasingly using these tools. Again, we can't start to be a digital citizen if we don't have access. That's what that means, right? So we need to know that people need to have access. So helping to provide and expand access to technology should be the goal of all digital citizens. Users need to keep in mind that there are some who have limited access, so other resources may need to be provided. To become productive citizens, we need to be committed to make sure that no one is denied digital access. So think about all the fights you've heard about net neutrality. Think of all the things you've heard about putting people who have the means or access, at least cell phones in their hands so they can access the internet. Think about going to some countries that may not have good digital access and people are sitting there and trying to set up cell towers and internet towers and satellite phones for them. Google's trying to work on weather balloons so people in Puerto Rico over the hurricanes and stuff like that could have access to cell phones and the internet. So think about all that because they know the first thing that's important to even be a digital citizen is to have digital access. So you need to have access, right, to play the field, right? To play, you got to have access. And so all of our goals is to make sure that everyone has access. Because if no one has access, then they can't be a digital citizen. And a couple years back, the UN Broadband Commission stated that 50% of the world's population are without internet, right? And that's 13% of the Americans don't use the internet as well. And that's from, you can find that in the Pew Research Center. And so you have to think about that. That's a lot of people who don't have access to the internet. So our goal is try to get 100% access across the board. That's the first thing we got to talk about, right? And so the second thing we like to talk about is probably what a lot of people first started using the internet for when the internet first started coming out, digital commerce, right? So technology users need to understand that a large share market economy is being done electronically. Legitimate and legal exchanges are occurring, but the buyer seller needs to be aware of the issues associated with it. The mainstream availability of internet purchase of toys, clothing, cars, food, etc. has become commonplace to many users. So we need to think of what is happening when we buy everything online. What's happening to our local economy? Where are they getting these things from? Is it adding more harm to the environment from more shipping costs, more lights, everything, right? Like who's doing these jobs? Are they being paid fairly? All these things that we have to think about when we're digital citizens. It's the same things we think about for our local commerce and economy, but we're putting them online now, so we have to think of them the same way. Think of the way it is online, right? So At the same time, an equal amount of goods and services which are in conflict with the laws and morals of some countries are surfacing, which includes activities like illegal downloading, pornography, gambling, all of that. So users need to learn about how to be effective consumers in a new digital economy. So we need to know what's illegal, what's not, and how these things are affecting us. Even like DraftKings and everything else was having problems a couple years back with New York State law when it came to gambling. Illegal downloading is going to be huge for everyone in the entertainment business. How do you still make money and all those stuff? So it's basically think of digital commerce as digital economy. We need to think about all those because that is an element of being a digital citizen. You're participating in digital commerce and you need to be aware of how your commerce affects everything, right? So now we know we have access, and now we know we can buy things, make money, how our economy works, how people are getting paid, what our impact is. One thing that we need to also think about is how do we communicate? And if anybody's ever been on social media or it's had a cell phone or anything else, I feel it's the same. You probably feel the same way. Is this an instrument of communication or torture? And I know it can be torture. So, one of the significant changes within the digital revolution is a person's ability to communicate with other people. In the 19th century, forms of communication were limited. In the 21st century, communication options have exploded to offer a wide variety of choices: email, cell phones, instant messaging, social media, all that. The expanding digital communication options have changed everything because people are able to keep in constant communication with anyone else. When I was younger, my family grew up in Haiti. I used to go to Haiti all the time. And even I would have family that was in Haiti and I would want to talk to them. And we usually had one satellite phone in a village and you had to schedule when to come in. Whoever owned that phone would schedule someone else to come in so you can call when people were around. Nowadays, if something happens, I literally just Facebook message somebody. I can Instagram, a Snapchat. I send them a text. It is crazy that the world has shrunk. And I'm telling you, in over like 15, 20 years, it has shrunk the world so much. So now we know we communicate with everyone everywhere, right? But now that we can communicate and collaborate with everyone from anytime, anywhere. We don't really know how to make appropriate decisions when faced with these communication options. Like, what's the appropriate way to speak to someone? Was your family members? Was your boss? When is the appropriate time to call or text someone? What's the appropriate time to expect someone to call and text you back? All of that. Like, how do we get tone across? All that. We need to learn like good forms of communication. Just because we can communicate everywhere, we really don't know how we can effectively communicate with everyone, right? So that's an element of digital citizenship that we need to be aware of, our digital communication. And so another one, because now we can speak to each other, right, is digital literacy. So while schools have made great progress in the area of technology and fusion, much remains to be done. A renewed focus must be made on what technologies must be taught, as well as how it should be used. New technologies are finding their way into the workplace that are not being used in schools, video conferencing, online sharing spaces, all that. In addition, workers in many different occupations need immediate information, just in time. This process requires sophisticated searching and processing skills, right? So we need new technology, new ways to learn technology. So learners must be taught how to learn in a digital society. In other words, learners must be taught to learn anything, anytime, anywhere. Business, military, and medicine are excellent examples of how it's being used in the 21st century. As new technology emerges, learners need to learn how to use that technology quickly and appropriately. Digital citizenship involves educating people in a new way. These individuals need a high degree of information literacy skills. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Right. So the whole reason we are doing this for you, I want you to think across the course. Oh, I've learned a new technology. I've learned to learn it quickly. Oh, I had to learn how to look at someone's digital footprint as it exists right now today to get that new information and report on it. I have to learn how to research and how to research and how to not only quantify but investigate like what's going on, what's credible, evaluate it, right? I need to know those information literacy skills. I need to get just in time information. I need to learn information literacy skills, right? I need to learn new technology quickly. I need to learn anytime, anywhere, and anything. That's what you've done in this class. You've learned something at any time, anywhere, wherever you are, right? And you've learned a bunch of different things. We're doing this to get you up and going, right? That's what you're doing. You got to be digitally literate in this world, and we're teaching you those skills to do it. So no matter what the subject matter is, you can be literate in what you're doing. You have the skills in order to succeed. So if you're wondering why and thinking, does this class make sense of what they're doing and why they do it? This is why. We want you to become digitally literate. It's our first job. This is why it's your first class. Become digitally literate. Learn how to do anything, anytime, anywhere. Learn how to do just-in-time information. Learn some information literacy skills, right? Learn how to use new tools quickly. This is why our classes move at a pace, all right? So now that you're literate, you're there, you can communicate, you have access, right? You can buy stuff. One thing that we all think of, and in that communication about it being torture or not, we can think of digital etiquette, man. Whoo, something that we all need. So technology users often see this area as one of the most pressing problems when dealing with digital citizenship. We recognize inappropriate behavior when we see it, but before people use technology, they do not learn digital etiquette. So think about if you have kids or when you're a kid or what we do for kids, how many things do you see, whether it's media, parents, friends, family, books, everything, teaching them proper etiquette, appropriate behavior when dealing with the world. Think about how we do none of that from when people got online, all right? So just as we do in everyday life, we need to feel comfortable. I know we feel uncomfortable. We need to feel comfortable talking to others about their digital etiquette. Often rules and regulations are created or the technology is simply banned to stop inappropriate use, right? It's not enough to create rules and policies. We must teach everyone to become responsible digital citizens in a new society, all right? So when you're thinking about this, like, okay, man, digital etiquette, we need to learn proper rules and behaviors. I need to enforce those rules and behavior. If I see someone doing something bad, I need to say something as well. If I have a YouTube channel and the comments are going crazy, I need to regulate that and tell people what to do. If something doesn't work like a forum because it may get racist or sexist or something behavior, I may just be like, I'm not going to use it. But we also have to teach each other as well. But it is our responsibility to do that, teach digital etiquette, right? Because just like digital etiquette, we have something called digital law. So digital law deals with the ethics of technology within a society. Unethical use manifests itself in the form of theft and or crime. Ethical use manifests itself in the form of abiding by the laws of society, right? So we understand that stealing or cause damage to other people's work, identity, property is a crime, right? So we know there are rules of society that we need to be aware of to be ethical in our society. And so those laws, same laws that apply to everyone online, right? If you can't go in someone's house and take their stuff, right, you can't hack into someone's computer. If you can't just go to a store and just grab a CD and walk out without paying for it, you can't download illegal music. If you can't just, in the real world, go take someone's artwork, let's just say, or someone's music, you can't just go up to Kanye West. You can't go up to Taylor Swift and be like, oh, this record's mine, it's mine, I did it, pay me for it, right? You can't do that online. You can't plagiarize. You can't take someone else's work, right? You can't destroy people's properties. You can't do anything. You can't steal someone's wallet. You can't steal someone's identity. It's all the same stuff. So apply the same laws that we have in our society, which are ethical, and apply those to the digital world as well. Because guess what? They're the same thing, right? So I know that we all kind of want to be cool a little, and we kind of want to be like Lupin. We're master thieves. It's cool. We could be pirates. We are the gentleman thieves. But don't be that. You have to be ethical. All right? Be ethical. Be ethical. And if you know who Lupin is, go and watch Lupin. It's an anime character. Still big in Japan. Awesome. It's one of my favorites, and I do have that exact outfit. All right. So with our law, we also have certain rights and responsibilities. So just as in the American Constitution, there's a Bill of Rights. There's a basic set of rights extended to every digital citizen. Digital citizens have the right to privacy, free speech, etc. So basic digital rights must be addressed, discussed, and understood in the digital world. And I use the American Constitution, but it's the same. Like everywhere has a certain rights and responsibility in their country, right? And usually, for a lot of free societies, there's the right to privacy, free speech, etc. You have that right when you're dealing with the digital world as well. And as you become celebrities or in the entertainment industry, people are always going to try to violate those rights, and you know that you have certain rights. Don't violate others as you don't want your rights violated. So with these rights also come responsibility. Peter, with great power comes great responsibility. Users must help define how the technology is used in an appropriate manner. In a digital society, these two areas must work together for everyone to be productive. So you have a responsibility to ensure that everyone has their rights in the digital world. So just like we talked about digital etiquette, right, and the laws, you have to make sure that everybody is not infringing on each other's rights, okay? You have to do that. We need to do that in order to be productive. All right. So we got our rights and our responsibilities. So we've covered kind of how we talk to each other. We covered law. We covered even your rights and responsibilities. But one thing that a lot of people tend to overlook is their digital health and wellness, right? I know what you're thinking when I say that. You thought this automatically. You're thinking, oh, digital health and wellness. I don't want to be just the only thing I'm thinking about is kids who spend too long and get fat just playing games on the internet. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. So I want you to reconsider that. What I want you to think is stuff like eye safety, repetitive stress syndrome, sound ergonomic practices, environmental issues. These are like things well, besides the environmental, but these are things that are actually impacting our physical bodies when we're on the digital world. So if you work in a factory, if you sometimes even work anywhere you're working around chemicals or anything else, you may think that they give you safety goggles, they give you hard hats, they give you things to protect your physical body. Well, in the digital world, we have the same problems, right? We have eye strain, right, from the colors and looking at screens all day. We can get carpal tunnel, back pain, neck pain, right? We can have hearing damage and all that stuff. So think about like we have some responsibilities of our digital health as well to our physical bodies that we need to take care of. So next time, like, wouldn't it be great if you worked in an office if someone handed you those glasses that filter out certain UV rays to put less stress on your eyes? Wouldn't that be great? That was automatic as an hard hat or safety glasses are, right? Proper mouse pad, proper mouses that can help with carpal tunnels, hearing, all that stuff that you can use that can help your physical body because your physical body is impacted by digital health, right? Right, by the digital world. And so beyond the physical, there's also psychological issues that we need to become more prevalent, such as internet addiction, cyberbullying. We have a lot of stuff that can actually affect your mind and body. You're hearing ex-Facebook CEO talking about what the addiction even to Facebook or anything in social media, what it does to wire your brain, all these types of things that we need to be concerned about and aware of when we're moving forward in the digital realm. So we need to be taught the inherent dangers of technology. Digital citizenship includes a culture where technology users are taught how to protect themselves through education and training, learning everything, even from environmental impacts and everything. We need to learn to protect our health and wellness, right? That gets impacted by the digital world. And the last thing I want to talk about is digital security, right? So in any society, there are always going to be people who steal, right? So that's the same that it's going to be for the internet. So it's not enough just to trust other members of the community for own safety. So in your homes, you put lock on your doors, you have fire alarms, smoke alarms, right? We have to do the same for our digital security. So you have to have virus protection, back up your data, have surge control equipment. You have to have strong passwords. You need to change the password so it's not the same. So as responsible citizens, we must protect our information from outside forces that might cause a disruption or harm. So what I want you to be, because you need to protect yourself, is I want you to be like Worf. Be your own chief security officer, okay? Right? You need to be Worf. That's you. Right? You are captain, you are security officer. Be that so no one can steal your information. And as all of you are going to an industry where the first thing they want to do is break into your security, especially your digital security, was breaking into your phone, hacking and stealing your movies, your images, your contracts, anything, right? So the first thing you want to do, this is highly important for you. Okay? So be your own security officer because that is needed because you have to make sure. So those are the 9 elements of digital citizenship. And for your assignment for this week, you're going to be using each one of those. Well, not each one, but you're going to be using those elements for discussions, and you're going to be using those elements for your assignment. So make sure you're kind of aware of it and use this as a guideline to help you through. And if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to your instructor, as we're all here to help you and we want to help you. With that, I hope you have a great week, and thank you for being in the course.